Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Sunday, which means it is time for another nice watches High School of the Dead. Oh boy. In the last episode, we had teenagers being goddamn morons. We need to teach more kids about psychology, we really do. Like, just in general. Because, oh boy, yeah, that would... a knowledge of group dynamics would probably have served those kids really well. Because you know who's really good at group dynamics? Somebody who's a fucking sociopath out to manipulate dumbass kids into doing his bidding. Oh boy. So now our protagonists are separated, and they're heading towards the police station. What's the betting that Mr. Rapist Teacher finds a way to make it so that, you know, it doesn't happen? Or finds some way to sabotage them. Oh boy, can't wait to see how that plays out. I hope someone stoves his goddamn skull in. But all in all, I'm excited to see how this plays out, because I really love scenarios like this. So let's get in here and let's see what happens, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, and go. Actually, I love zombie apocalypse scenarios so goddamn much. I've been looking forward to this all week. Ah! It's just, very excited. Very happy. Z-Day! Oh my god, they call it Z-Day! Running in the dead. So these guys are... Oh man, they're just using drones? Damn. I like to imagine this is an American drone from, like, an American military base, and they're just like... Oh man, shit's fucked. Hey yo, we still got that third nuke. Like, do we mothball that or what? Damn, they just buzzed them. Holy shit. The backdraft from that plane would probably knock them right off that fucking bike. Holy shit. But yeah, but what I was gonna say, God, imagine pulling an all-nighter for, like, college or school or a job project or something. And then the next day the apocalypse happened. The thing you pulled that all-nighter for, no longer relevant. And now you're exhausted. So now you have to find a place to catch up on sleep. While you're sleeping, there is, like, a non-zero chance that either zombies could break into where you're sleeping and murder the shit out of you, or other humans could. Like, oh boy. Like, I do wonder, like, every now and again, I'll wonder, like, what my own home would fare in the zombie apocalypse, because it's Florida, so you've got, like, big glass doors, right, around the back, right, and then you've got, like, you got things, like, kept in by netting for a lot of times, and it's like, yeah, no, that netting's not gonna stop a zombie, and that glass is probably not gonna stop, so you'd have to plywood up the glass, right? But also, I'm in an area that's not got a lot of traffic, and most of the people around are old people. So on the one hand, not a lot of access to supplies, but also not a lot of people, which means that not a lot of people are gonna come here either. At least I would hope. You know, like, I do wonder, like, what, like, areas with large amounts of old people, whether that would attract people or basically be safe. I mean, you got to look down the shirt of a girl who's clearly not wearing a bra at the very least. That's a high school sophomore thing, right? Do we really need the recap on the fucking 4th episode? Excessive violence was the answer there. He didn't go far enough. Attention, students, please panic in an orderly and calm fashion. Yeah, no, you should have. You should have pieced the fuck out before things got too bad. Instead, now your best friend is dead, now you're stuck with a rapist on a bus. Or, sorry, your only chance of survival is being stuck on a bus with a rapist. Wait, we're still in flashback land? Why are we still in flashback land? Do we really need the flashback? I do wonder, like, in the event of a zombie apocalypse, what would be the best way to prevent getting bitten? I mean, the ideal way to prevent getting bitten is just don't be around zombies in the first place, right? But, like, what would be the best? You know, like, would you want like a padded leather gambeson with thick gloves? Would you want like metal armor? You know, like basically plate mail. Chainmail wouldn't do for shit because zombies' teeth would be able to pierce you eventually. I don't know. Like, would the total force of a unrestricted human jaw be able to bite through metal? You think? Or like reinforced leather in that case? In this situation, your best chance to find a military base that is still active. Because in this case, they've got very limited access to weapons. And Japan is a country that's got a very weird way of doing public relations compared to the West. So, finding a military base, either Japanese or American, and approaching in such a way that you are not bringing zombies with you, and you do not appear as a threat, might be a good way to get in there. But the problem is that you run, like, if you've got a 28 days later issue, where the people have gone, you know, nutso in the head and decided, well, we're gonna make a brand new society. All the women for us. That's the problem. So, you might possibly just want, like, to do a little bit of recon first, if you can try and do it without being discovered, you know? See if they're still trying to, like, run, like, saving people, like, what's going on, you know? If there's any government individuals. I don't know how you exactly would do that, because military bases aren't exactly designed to be spied on. But you'd need to figure something out. Because if they've gone rogue, they've gone AWOL, it's a problem. If they've already fallen to raiders who are now just using it as a base of operations, that's another issue. But if you find a military base that's already fallen and has just got a small contingent of zombies in there, that's free guns and a base. So there's there's 2 failure states out of 4 potential win states on that one. And it looks like the military is still in place. Why is he just a snake? Stranger danger, stranger danger. This man has several teenage girls chained to a radiator in his basement. There's surprisingly a lot of ways that you could survive a zombie apocalypse, but all of them have a potential alternative ending that is bad. That's really fun. Societal collapse is fun. to think about. Probably not to experience. Because every single scenario where you could possibly survive and or hold out has an option where, no, it backfires fucking horribly. And you can see it coming. But also, you can't really turn it down because if it turns out to be legit, it's pretty fucking legit. It's a matter of weighing, like, what risks you're willing to take versus what benefits you want. Why the fuck do we have a flashback episode? I don't know. I mean, honestly, what I kind of want to do is I kind of want to study, like, societal collapses throughout history and just see what's happened, right? Because there hasn't been a zombie apocalypse societal collapse at any point. There've been plenty of collapses based around coups, revolutions, collapse of government, bunch of shit. And each one has gone slightly different. So it'd be fun to figure out what went which way and what led to what, like, you know, precipitated it. Are we good? Are we back on, like, modern, like, on actual, like, current day content? So I'm tired of fucking flashbacks here. God damn. It's turning into a podcast at this point. Oh no, they lost their mom. Poor babies. Damn, that guy... God, imagine getting taken down by zombies on your bike. Oh boy. How did you lose out on a bike though? I mean, it looks like he turned down that alleyway, which might have been, you know, his mistake, but how crowded were the streets that you had to turn down that alleyway? Bicycles aren't exactly the loudest fucking thing. Ooh, somebody took a header out that fucking window. Yeah, so oof. That's a fucking oof. Yeah. That's another issue. You can't tell where somebody died. Like, cause there's no bodies left behind. Waiting for zombie cop. Damn, that guy didn't come back. That must have been a hell of a head wound when he got... Jesus Christ. Check him for a gun. Check him for a gun. Check him for a gun. Takashi should be standing lookout. Ideally, Ray should be... Yeah, she's going for the gun! Smart girl! Smart girl! Okay, so it looks like a snub-nosed 32. Okay, Smith & Wesson. That's correct. Okay, so that looks like a snub-nosed Smith & Wesson 32. So... Yeah, because it's a fucking revolver, you dumbass! So... He's limited on shots. Looks like he's got a full cylinder. And the cop had extra bullets. Nice. Oh, there's other gun. The Japanese cops only carry one cylinder? I'm fairly certain American cops carry at least one extra magazine. You mean to tell me fucking Japanese cops only carry... And also the sound would attract them. The sound would attract them. You mean to tell me Japanese cops will, like, respond to, like, a fucking... a call and be like, well, I've got 5 bullets. They're not even using the fucking 6-shooter model. They're using the fucking 5-round model. What the fuck? Sean. Alright then. And you're gonna want to fill up as much as you can before the power goes out. That is a oof. But these self-service stations, you can actually turn the pumps on if you get inside. If you get inside, you can actually activate the pump from you if you fake a transaction. Because these sorts of places, they should, if they're anything like the ones in America, they should have the ability to pay in cash inside. You just have to... You just have to activate the specific pump you want. And her bag is in the bus. Oh my god, this... Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with Takashi, whatever the fuck his name is. Ray's kinda useless on this one. Fuck me. Oh damn, some zombies getting horny in here. I'm coming for the booty. God, I've thought about zombie apocalypse shit way too fucking much. Why is it not working? Like, why is the power on outside in the gas station, but not in the... That means there's power, it's just the fuse is blown. You can turn the fuse back on, dum-dum. And actually, no, they'd be on the same circuit because the fucking pumps are connected to a terminal inside. Oh my god, she is fucking oblivious. Ah, yes! A smoker of the devil's lettuce! Truly the greatest villain in the zombie apocalypse! Damn, that bra really does nothing for support, huh? Nice to see that them has become a universal thing. What the fuck? Seriously? I understand there probably would be freakazoids in the advent of a zombie apocalypse, people thinking with their dicks. Like, in the very outset, but come on, did you really need to put this in? Oh no. That was either the dumbest thing he could have done, or the biggest brain. Really gonna steal their motorcycle. Hmm? Can't believe it. Come on, man. Quick draw McGraw that motherfucker. Let's go! Yeah! Quick draw! Don't need to aim if you're point blank, motherfucker. Let's go! That's a double action. You can fuck off. You could have just pulled the trigger. I mean, yeah, like pulling the hammer back on a double action does, lower the fucking distance the trigger needs to travel, but come on. That's just for style points, my dude. Come on. You were gonna shoot him anyway. Well, I guess now everyone's on their way. Oh boy. The zombies are coming. It's fine. This dude ain't going no way. He's about to be delicious. Rule number 1 of living in a zombie apocalypse. Don't make enemies of other human beings. Because yes, you might be able to douchebag your way to a couple of early wins. But once people are ready for it, and a lot more armed, yeah, that don't go good for you. That don't go good for you so well. Like, Japan is a country with very few firearms, right? So in a country like Japan, it's gonna happen a lot quicker, right? But the moment your average, like, the average survivor, like, has a random, like, a non-standard amount of arm, like being an asshole becomes a lot less of a guarantee win, right? So, like, day 1, right? Nobody's ready, nobody's prepared, and very few people are liable to be armed and ready to go, right? Like, you'll have, like, the crazy people who are like, oh yeah, got my go bag, I'm ready, boys, big igloo time! But that's gonna be the minority, and your chances of running into them is very, very slim at the start, right? In America, right, the average, like, equalization of arms, for the most part, is gonna be pretty much flat for, I'm gonna say, like, the first 2-3 weeks of, like, full-on zombie, right? Because what is the statistic for, like, for every 1 US citizen there's 3 guns, right? Now, I should probably wait for this to be done. If people are, like, as the dumb people die off, actually, it'd probably become a lot less common. Hyper-violent zombie apocalypses where humans are outright killing humans over fucking nothing, those are actually pretty unrealistic, honestly, like, based on societal bullshit and human psychology. Hey, and there's the jet from the beginning. What if that guy comes back as a boss zombie? Well, it looks like the team gets back together next time. But yeah, okay, so finishing my thought. So, like, in a country like America, where, like, the average amount of, like, arms and weaponry among citizenry is, like, at, like, a medium level, like, across the board. And yeah, not everyone is gonna be armed, but in this sort of situation, the people who are armed are likely gonna survive a lot longer. Um, And also, you know, statistically, more Americans own guns than don't, as far as I'm aware. Like, I might be wrong on this statistic, but there can't be 3 guns to every 1 American and not have the majority of the citizenry be armed. Like, in, like, big cities like New York, I'd expect there to be, like, a lower rate of gun ownership because most of them are left-leaning, and left-leaning people in America tend to be less gun-friendly. But regardless, right? Point being, like, rising above the average weapon thing is going to take a little longer in the US because the baseline is higher, right? So in the US, it's semi-auto rifles. Oh, Jesus, it is coming down out there, huh? It is semi-auto rifles, pistols, and knives, right? Next thing up from that is like burst fire and fully auto guns. And that's a hell of a fucking jump. So in the US, being an asshole will actually, like, serve you a little bit longer, but probably not as well as it would. Because, you know, like, you have a gun, but the other guys have a gun too. So being an asshole, you can probably take, like, small groups or, like, one guy and just get him, assuming you get the jump, right? And that'll probably work for a little bit, but after about 2 weeks, I'd assume that, like, most of the people who are going to be taken by that probably gonna be gone, or they'd have wised up by then. And also, the population would decrease so much that you'd have a higher likelihood of running into somebody who was ready for this shit. But meanwhile, in a country like Japan or England, where the average starting equipment for a zombie apocalypse is going to be a bat or maybe a kitchen knife, like, with the baseline so low, the chance of one person or a very small amount of people finding something to raise their baseline loadout becomes a lot higher because they've got a much wider range of shit they can advance to. So if your average is like bat or snapped off broom handle or like maybe a kitchen knife, finding a machete or like a fucking a weaponized nail gun like fucking Columbine Coon over here, like, that is a pretty big force multiplier compared to what everyone else has. So you'll probably be able to get away with being an asshole for a lot less time because more people are going to be able to raise their force multiplier a lot faster. Like, they won't have as high of a force multiplier as in America, so zombies will actually prove to be more of an issue, but other humans won't be as much. Like, this is, of course, assuming a linear progression, right? Which, of course, in a real-world scenario, not super realistic, but this is entirely theoretical in this position and going off of what I think of when I think of, like, statistics and human psychology. And also, like, because you have more people being assholes at the start, because they're like, well, I'm in a gang, so I've got, like, access to a bunch more shit. Like, there's going to be a lot more incidents of people being assholes, which means people are going to wise up faster. So that guy wasn't going to last very long. You scared of the thunder, little kitty cat? Are you scared of the thunder? Yeah? Yeah? Scared of the thunder? Oh, mind your little paw claw. But yeah, like, it's a fun thing to think about. Like, the idea that not only are the majority of humans not assholes, and that is straight up fact, by the way. Like, the fact that we evolved empathy in general and compassion, the fact that we have these in the first place shows that humans are not dicks. Like, right, by nature we are not. Most of us have some caring for other living creatures, including people. The minority that don't or have a limited amount, they're the ones that are going to be weeded out quick by this. Because in this such a sort of situation, being alone is a massive detriment. But yeah, it's a fun thing to think about. And I'm really glad that I got to talk about this in this episode, because guess what? Nothing fucking happened! Like, I could talk about this shit for ages. Forever. But I'm going to cut it off there, because I feel like I'm going to wind up talking in circles. But that's for this episode. I'm really not a big fan of this episode. Like, I was looking forward to this episode all week. Like, I had some delays in trying to get the episode sourced and just a bunch of other shit. And not to mention my massive sinus infection that I've still fucking got. I want to die. The back of my eyes is on fire. But I really feel massively let down because 90% of this episode was just a flashback to the previous 3. And then the only bits that were actually like new content were rapey teacher being rapey, which we already knew, and one small encounter with a rapist at a gas station. And of course they got firearms. Like they supplied up and they ran into a human that was a piece of shit. I really hope the majority of people they run into aren't pieces of shit, because I feel like this show will run into Walking Dead syndrome, where the amount of psychopaths is ridiculously fucking high for the population. Like, if humans act like this in societyless situations, how the fuck did we make society in the first place? He's dumb. He's dumb. Yeah, like, just the lack of content is just really fucking frustrating, and it just really bugs the shit out of me. Like, I waited a week for this! Come on now! But I guess it did give me a chance to talk about the psychology of being an asshole in a societal collapse. But yeah, like, in a violent societal collapse, where, like, you've got coups and violent revolution and ideology behind it, I do think you would see a large spike of people acting like that guy. And I think that's where the concept comes from. It's like, oh, society collapsed, everyone's gonna be a violent murderer, right? And indulge in their darkest fantasies. But in reality, that concept comes from societal collapse in real life that are precipitated by revolution or violent or otherwise violent societal collapse. The violence is already there. In this situation, it is a viral societal collapse. It is something external from humanity causing everything to break down and fall apart. This sort of scenario, I do not think would encourage that much violence in humanity. And yeah, I hope it's not like that much of a recurring theme. Like, I'd rather interpersonal drama that is less violence-based and more trying to get society to work together. I know, kitty cat. I know. I can't stop the thunder. Like, I can feel her, like, paws, like, every time the thunder goes, she goes, Gah! And it kind of hurts. But yeah, like, it's, I don't know, it's something I'm a little bit spooked by. I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, that's really all there fucking is to talk about. Like, I'm sorry, like, I could just give another fucking TED Talk, but I won't. But, yeah, I'm gonna admit, I was not a massive fan of this episode. Just because there's nothing really to chew on. It's all flashbacks. It might as well have been a clip show episode that you'd get, like, midway through a season when it's like, okay, here's what happened just in case you're coming in late. I don't know. But that's really all I got to talk about, so let me know what you thought of this episode down there in the comments, whether you liked it, you disliked it, or you want to bring up something I left out down there in the comments, because hey, maybe there is something here that I could have wrung out that I didn't. Let me know down there in the comments. And as always, I am Nozz. Remember to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, share on social media, tell your friends, hit the share button down below, and if you want, you can always support me on Patreon, which is linked down there in the description, along with a one-time Streamlabs donation if you want to do that. And yeah, if you want more content from me, I do try and post anime every single day at around noon, and I also try and stream every day at around 3. I do not know when I'm streaming today because I've got some schedule conflict, but I will schedule it when it is there. So if you have a look at my channel, it might even already be up. Just hit the little bell. Hit the little bell, it'll tell you. Yeah. As always, everybody, I'll see you in the next video. But most importantly of all, become a trash mammal today. And I will see you a